Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this narration of the web series Very Clever Primates, taken from Reddit with the author's approval. If you're new to the story, there is a playlist listed in the description. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Things with the humans were, complicated. I'll leave it at that. The general was a scholar as well as a warrior. He went on and on and on about the history of the world I currently resided on. Things became far less tense as we talked, and my rage subsided. Instead of red, my scales were blue in shock as the talks of humanity continued. We'd misjudged humanity. I had misjudged humanity, and I made absolutely sure to translate everything I could to the warriors around me so that they would understand. Between the human general's history lesson and my own translation, we could have been speaking for nearly a whole rotation. General Patrick McCullen was the man's name and rank, and what he lacked in youth he made up for in military tactics, history, and understanding. Although the chaos outside of the base made me question his abilities, his explanation over what went wrong helped clear things up quite a bit. However, his thoughts and views on his species made things all the more troubling. "I can tell you right now, Doctor, that our species will not get along," he began, putting out God's awful scented tube of dried leaves, a cigar, from what he told me. "Your kind values progress and the success of your species as a whole. You're willing to sacrifice your own individual values just so your society can progress. That's not humanity," he stated, leaning back in his chair. Why this man called me doctor rather than scholar was beyond me. Perhaps it was simply the human equivalent. "General, sir, the species went through the same thing. We warred with each other and broke out in fights amongst ourselves constantly. You can overcome that human desire like we did," I said. It was growing easier and easier to talk to this man, now that the guns weren't pointed at us. I wondered if anyone was picking up on the conversation, as I was still broadcasting it. It'd be impossible to tell until I returned to the ship. Until then, though, I simply had to hope that nothing interfered. "That's a really cute philosophy and history lesson, Doctor, but we're not your kind. We're humans. Humans need a stern hand to guide them, or they'll fight over themselves for any small resources available. It's a bit of a pessimistic view, but we live in a pessimistic world. Hell, our own country breaks out into fights over political philosophy on a near-weekly basis. You expect us to change simply because aliens showed up at our doorstep, wanting to lead us to the promised land of progress? You want us to become you?" he asked, his brow furrowing. "Well, no, but similar philosophy would no doubt stop—" "It wouldn't stop anything, nor would any human want it to," he exclaimed, sending our group jumping back in our seats as he pointed a finger at me. "You listen to me and you listen well. No alien is going to show up in my backyard and tell me what to do. I've lived too long and bled quite a bit for this country, a country I love so much that I would die to see it survive," he said, his aggressive stance faltering as he saw our reaction to it. The general closing his eyes with a faint laugh. "The same goes for a lot of us, all over the world. We're a species of patriots and kings," he said, almost in a solemn sorrow. "We fight over resources, we fight over political ideologies, we fight over religion. We are a race of people itching to be powerful and righteous. We are the antithesis of Valon, from what you've explained to me, Doctor," he said, yet his expression of sorrow uplifted as soon as it shifted. He spoke once more before I even got word in HFYs. "And that's fine by me, because it's just who we are. We change for no one if we believe that the cause is good enough. We'll follow tyrants into battle because they're powerful, and we'll stand up to tyrants because our sense of right and wrong. Every human is their own king. I don't care if you're homeless or the leader of a country. Everyone decides their own fate. It isn't decided for you because you're faster than someone or better at science than others. No, you do what you want to, and you're free to do it. The consequences don't mean crap, Doctor. You say that we're going to die by our own hubris. Then we're going to die by our own hubris," he exclaimed, adjusting his uniform jacket. "I am no one's lapdog. I serve willingly because I believe in the beauty of being free to serve. No one forced me to put on this uniform. This duty to my country wasn't thrust upon me by someone older and smarter than me. No, I went out there into that scary world you're so petrified of, worked with humans that all had their own hopes, dreams, and desires, and I achieved greatness on my own merit. You say that you need to help us. What help could we possibly get from someone that does what they're told, and nothing but that, out of fear that they won't be progressing the species? When does progress stop for you? When do the Villagers sit down and do something you want to do? He asked. No, demanded of me. My scale shifted to orange at his sudden outburst. I do what I must because it's what I'm good at, and I like to do it, I exclaimed back. You claim every man is a king, but that's easy for a man, burning tubes of foul-burning plants that obviously are toxic in a nice lab under the earth, protected by soldiers to say. I hissed, leaning forward. Have you ever seen the hopeless? What have you done to make their lives better? While sitting in your castle, do you even think about all the wasted potential begging for food? I have since I've gotten here, and so has every other member of my species who has seen you humans. I don't seek fame or fortune from doing what I do, and I'm still recognized for my work. What recognition do those homeless get? What help do you provide them so they provide for you instead of the tax system, I asked, Quill standing on end. If they're too sick to realize that they're the cause of their own pain, then that's their problem. It is your problem. No one should struggle to survive on a planet that can provide enough food, water, and shelter that people like you can get large, I exclaimed, pointing a claw at the older man's stomach. A low blow, but he'd get my point. The general took the blow with a guffaw, shaking his head and placing his hands on his belly. What can I say? I love and can afford steak, he replied. I wasn't sure what steak was, but this man showed no remorse for his blatant selfishness. He was having none of my scolding. How bullheaded. You think that I didn't struggle? Every human life is full of struggle unless you're born into the lab of luxury. That's the human experience. You said it yourself. Our planet is an inhospitable zone of danger. Our lives are short. I'm sorry if I spent my youth and strength in the pursuit of life I love, but now that I've reached it, I'm going to enjoy every second I have left. And damn the others that didn't make it, I asked in retort. How much time would it take to fix what was wrong with them, Doctor? How long does your species live? Roughly 300 revolution years. Exactly. Call it a cold as you want, but the truth is we humans face death every day. This planet and our pride in ourselves won't let us give up these precious years of peace just so that we can give other people a shot. We worked hard for what we have, and we don't have time to fix everyone, he said, sighing, actually seemingly annoyed at that response. There was a silence that plagued the room. I translated our argument to Skanna, her own scales matching my own. Orange with annoyance. She wanted to speak English at that moment. She was a warrior, just the same as this man was. She could sympathize with the man. But the more and more I thought on what he said, the more and more I realized that it would take more than good intentions and a helping hand to fix humanity. Especially considering humanity didn't want to be fixed. According to him, humanity didn't need to be fixed. I placed my head in my claws, racking my brain for ideas on what to do, what to say, and how to say it in order for the human, who wasn't even the leader of his people, to understand the fact that they needed to stop living the way they were. They needed to be better. And then the thought of how humans would always do what they thought was right popped into my head. All humans were different, and yet groups of them still banded together to do what they felt was right. We needed to give humanity a global cause. We needed to give them an enemy. I spoke softly. Humanity needs a rival, not a partner. Humanity can only fight itself for so long before the world collapses around them. But if we gave them something else to fight... The general leaned forward, hands folded against each other's, the stern look in his face growing bolder. You saying something I should let my soldiers be aware of? He asked, eyes squinting. The human was beginning to grow suspicious of my out loud pondering. Why did I do it in English? I'll never know. But I knew humanity's collective itch to be better, to do better, to boldly go into the unknown. Hells, they knocked on our door when we were scrambling to figure out how to deal with them. What could I do to give them something to motivate them like that? The Valan could coddle them, force them to conform. Humanity would never conform like we do. No, we needed to find a reason to get humanity over their own hubris by their own merits. No lesson the Valan could teach would ever convince humanity to give up their own cultures and individual personas. There's planets out there that we can't inhabit. They're too harsh for us, too dangerous. They're rich in resources, too, I said softly, my colors turning yellow with hope. Go on! We need our leaders to talk. We need to negotiate. If you humans want our technology to explore the cosmos, you're going to have to convince us that you're worth our time. I'm not seeing it right now, I stated to the general. The general hummed, looking at me with curiosity. What did you have in mind? He asked. Nothing I have the ability to do myself, but once our leaders speak to each other, I have an idea. I just need to be given the chance to talk to them, both in order for our species to find a way to coexist, and to propel your species past this dangerous part in your history. No, you aren't Valan, but if what you say is correct about you humans, you don't want to be. You humans won't settle for being taught how to progress. You want to do it yourself, and the only way to do that is to give humanity a crisis. I'm still not following, alien, and you'd better watch your words here, the general warned, to which I gave a confident smirk. Humans need to save us. End of chapter. This is a special thank you to the one, the only, the legendary Eric Hino, who has become the only Tier 6 patron. I just want to thank the T5 patrons and channel members. Cam Maxwell, Casper Arnholtz, Australia the Dreamer, Tryagain95, Hudic Yol, Meridian117, Alithia, Jordan Bucksborn, Angry Marine, Albarden Gusta, and Barkey. Thank you very much. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed. There are links down below, both to support this channel and for the author of this fiction. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.